Welcome to Chinese for a Kinder World, where ancient words open doors to modern truths. Today, we explore a haunting and beautiful Chinese idiom, Kai Feng Sui Ya, the colorful phoenix follows the crow. It's an image that stops the heart. The phoenix, radiant, noble, graceful, should lead. The crow, dark, noisy, ordinary, should follow. But in this world, something is upside down. This idiom speaks to moments when virtue bows to mediocrity, when the talented must submit to the unworthy, when moral order, Tao, is inverted. From imperial courts to corporate boardrooms, from the spring and autumn period, Chun Chu, era to the algorithmic present, this metaphor whispers a timeless warning. We'll journey through the cultural origins of the phoenix, Feng, and crow, Ya, in Chinese thought, literary and historical examples of phoenix following the crow, how the idiom applies to modern social structures, and why this inversion matters for the moral health of society. Part 1. The image of the phoenix and the crow in Chinese culture. Feng, the phoenix, is not just a mythical bird. It's a cosmic emblem of virtue, harmony, and rightful rule. Since at least the Book of Songs, Shi Jing, the phoenix was believed to appear only in prosperous times, golden ages, Sheng Shi. It symbolizes moral power, Dai, proper order, Li, and the cultivated, virtuous person, Jun Zi. By contrast, the crow, Ya, is ordinary, dark, noisy. In Chinese folk tradition it can have ambivalent meanings, but in classical texts, it often represents mediocrity, Fan Yang, or even inauspiciousness, Bu Shang. So when the phoenix follows the crow, the image is shocking. It's not merely about birds. It's about a distorted moral universe. When the phoenix follows the crow, Kai Feng Sui Ya, expresses an inversion of hierarchy of the natural order. The noble yields to the base, the wise follows the foolish, light trails behind shadow. This inversion carries both aesthetic and political weight in the Chinese moral imagination. In Chinese imagination, the phoenix Feng is not just a bird, it is a cosmic emblem of virtue and harmony. It appears only in times of golden peace, Sheng Shi. It represents moral power, Dai, and the cultivated, noble person, Jun Zi. By contrast, the crow, Ya, belongs to the everyday world. Noisy. Opportunistic. In some tales a messenger of misfortune, in others merely dull and common. When the phoenix follows the crow, Kai Feng Sui Ya, the natural order is broken. It's a cry of injustice. A lament for times when beauty serves ignorance, when wisdom kneels before noise. Part 2. Literary Roots. A warning from the past. Although the exact phrase, Kai Feng Sui Ya, isn't among the oldest idioms, its imagery grows out of a long literary tradition. During periods of political decay, talented officials, phoenixes, often served corrupt rulers or petty courtiers, crows. This reflects the Confucian worldview that governance should reflect moral hierarchy. When it doesn't, the mandate of heaven, Tian Ming, itself is threatened. This image didn't appear out of nowhere. It echoes through 2,000 years of Chinese literature. In the Zuo Zhuan, Zuo Chuan, an early chronicle of states and wars, a line warns that noble birds do not follow vile ones. Shan Niao Bu Sui Yi Qin. Poets of the Tang dynasty turned this idea into metaphor. Li Bai lamented rulers who ignored virtue, and wrote of wild geese following crows. Hong Yan Sui Ya. To every listener of his age, the meaning was clear: when corruption leads, the talented suffer. Du Fu, his contemporary, called such times, when black and white, right and wrong, are reversed, Dian Dao He Bai. So the phoenix and crow became a pair of living metaphors, a moral weather vane for Chinese history. Part 3. Philosophical Analysis. moral inversion. To truly understand Kai Feng Shui Ya, we need to step into Chinese moral philosophy. Confucius taught that society should follow a natural hierarchy of virtue. The Junzi Junzi, virtuous person, should lead. The Shaoren, petty person, should follow. When this is reversed, when Shaoren Dang Dao, the petty man stands in the way, society experiences Luan, disorder. In Taoist thought, inversion is part of the cosmic cycle, but even here, it's marked as a sign of decline. Thus, Kai Feng Shui Ya is more than complaint. It is a moral diagnosis, a warning of imbalance, and often, a poetic act of resistance. What does this reversal mean in Chinese thought? Confucius saw social order as moral order. Those with virtue, the Junzi, should lead. Those driven by selfish gain, the Shaoren, should follow. When the petty person, Shaoren Dang Dao, holds power, then chaos, Luan, follows. In Taoism, inversion is natural, but even there, it signals imbalance before renewal. So when we say Kai Feng Shui Ya, we're not only describing tragedy, we're diagnosing the sickness of a world where virtue no longer commands respect. It's a universal feeling, a good teacher ignored, an honest worker overlooked, a thoughtful nation drowned by noise. Part 4, Historical Case Studies. Let's look at some historical moments where the phoenix had to follow the crow. Case 1. The end of the Han Dynasty, Han Mo. In the late Eastern Han period, talented statesmen like Kai Yang, and scholars who represented Confucian refinement were marginalized, while eunuchs, Huan Guan, and warlords gained power. Contemporary poets describe the court as phoenixes silenced, crows in command. Records describe it simply, Feng Huang I Ming Yu Long Zhang. The phoenix cries from within its cage. Case 2. Late Qing bureaucracy. In the late 19th century, as the Qing Empire faced foreign pressure, technocrats, reformers, and poets were often sidelined by conservative officials more interested in Quanwei, power, than reform. During reform movements, visionaries like Kang Youwei and Liang Qichao were dismissed as dreamers. Officials loyal to ritual and rank, the crows of bureaucracy, sang the loudest. And in modern life? It might be a whistleblower ignored, a scientist sidelined, or an artist buried under algorithms. Every age breeds its crows. Every age tests its phoenixes. Modern essays describe this as Feng Huang Di Fei, Wu Ya Gao Chong, phoenix flies low, crow sings loud. Case 3. Modern institutional examples. Even in contemporary organizations, from corporations to universities, we often see those with innovative ideas suppressed by bureaucrats, ethical voices overshadowed by power politics, short-term loyalty valued over long-term wisdom. This is Kai Feng Shui Ya in the age of spreadsheets and servers. History gives us countless phoenixes forced to follow crows. Part 5, Contemporary Reflections. What makes Kai Feng Shui Ya powerful today is its quiet universality. In business, politics, media, and even the arts, societies often reward visibility over substance, compliance over courage, loudness over depth. The phoenix, symbol of ethical excellence, brilliance, and vision, becomes trapped in systems built for crows. Digital platforms amplify this. The noisiest voices rise, while thoughtful ones are sidelined. This echoes a modern version of Zhan Bin Duo Zhu, the guest outshouts the host. Yet Chinese thought offers a counterbalance. Junzi Zhang Yushi. The virtuous will have their time. This is not blind optimism, but a reminder of cyclical moral history. In our digital century, the metaphor feels new again. Platforms amplify noise. Popularity eclipses substance. The measure of success is no longer truth, but visibility. The idiom Kai Feng Shui Ya becomes painfully relevant. We scroll through timelines where wisdom whispers and outrage shouts. where the thoughtful voice waits in line behind the loudest meme. In this algorithmic theater, the phoenix still follows the crow, not because it must, but because the stage has been rearranged. The question is, how do we restore balance? How do we create a world where brilliance leads again? Part 6. Why it matters. Culture and moral order. Why does it matter whether the phoenix follows the crow? Because order and justice depend on moral orientation. When mediocrity leads, excellence flees, or becomes complicit. This idiom is a call to vigilance, to recognize inverted hierarchies, to support those with moral voice, to resist a culture that confuses volume with value. In many ways, Kai Feng Shui Ya is not just a lament. It's a compass, pointing back toward a world where the phoenix leads and the crow follows. Chinese culture also believes that disorder contains the seed of renewal. Junzi Zhang Yu Shi, the virtuous will have their time. In Confucian cycles of history, moral clarity returns like spring after winter. When society rediscovers day, virtue, the phoenix rises once more. It's not just faith, it's a practical reminder that every culture can correct its compass. To do so, we must honor thought over noise, truth over vanity, and moral courage over convenience. That, perhaps, is the modern meaning of Kai Feng Shui Ya, not surrender, but warning. Not despair, but design. Closing reflection. So tonight, when you hear the crows of confusion crying across the digital sky, remember the phoenix, still waiting, still radiant. The idiom Kai Feng Shui Ya asks us, who are we following? Whose song do we choose to echo? Because every time a society lets its phoenixes fall silent, we lose not just beauty, but wisdom itself. May we listen again, and let the phoenix lead. Herb reflection questions. Have you ever witnessed a situation where the capable or moral person had to follow someone less worthy? How did it affect the group or outcome? What mechanisms in modern institutions allow crows to rise while phoenixes fall silent? How can individuals and communities help ensure day, virtue, leads, rather than merely follows? Thank you for listening. Stay connected.